Remember when starting a fire didn't require a background check? Yeah, me neither anymore. So let's talk about my recent descent into what I can only describe as match-related madness. Picture this. Grown man, just trying to buy some matches, ends up feeling like he's trying to score black market plutonium. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Listen, when I was a kid in the Boy Scouts, we had these magical little fire sticks called Strike Anywhere matches. Right here. And let me tell you, these things are the Swiss Army knife of the combustion world. You didn't need that little wimpy striking surface on the back of the matchbox, the one that inevitably gets wet or torn or mysteriously vanishes. No, with Strike Anywhere matches, the world was your matchbox. You could strike them on a rock, you could strike them on the zipper of your jacket, which by the way made you feel like an absolute badass at 12. Honestly, nothing says wilderness survival expert like lighting a match with your jacket zipper while your friends are still fumbling with their damp matchbooks like a bunch of morons. Listen, I could even strike these Strike Anywhere matches with my thumbnail if I could just time it right. Because why be safe when you can be exciting and slightly terrified? Listen, here's the science lesson that nobody asked for. Basically, there are two chemicals on the match tip that get real friendly when they interact, like a chemical Tinder date that always ends in flames, literally. And this is precisely why they were perfect for survival kits. Think about it. When you're putting together a compact survival kit, space is at a premium. You're not packing your entire kitchen drawer. Maybe matches are the only thing that fits in your tiny waterproof container. And when you really need them, like on those cold winter nights when you're actually trying to get a fire started in a pinch, you don't have the luxury of perfect conditions. You can't exactly be like, hold on, cold, let me find my reading glasses and warm up my hands first, and where's that proper striking surface? No, you need fire, and you need it now. And that's the beauty of Strike Anywhere matches. They were the don't call, we'll call you of the fire starting world. Independent, reliable, ready to ignite at a moment's notice. Even as an adult, when I should probably be more responsible and less pyro-curious, I've continued to love these things. They're perfect for keeping by the fireplace or the fire pit. Store them in a watertight container. Grab one whenever you need it. Strike it on a stone like you're some sort of suburban caveman and boom, you got fire. It's simple, it's elegant, it's intoxicating, it's everything modern life should be. But here's where the story takes a dark turn. Recently, I decided to restock my Strike Anywhere match supply. So I went online confident, naive, thinking that this would be a simple transaction. Click, buy, done, 2-day shipping, maybe even get them the same day if I was lucky. But I was wrong. Oh, so very, very wrong. Hey, it turns out these matches are banned in many places, most places in fact. And even when they're technically legal, they're harder to find than a politician who keeps their promises. You literally cannot ship these matches. You can't ship the matches, period. The same postal system that will deliver you a crate of fireworks, a samurai sword, and a live tarantula to your doorstep draws the line at these little innocent fire sticks. When I finally found some at Ace Hardware and placed an order, I actually had to physically go in the store, show my ID to pick them up. My ID for matches. I felt like I was picking up a controlled substance. The last time I voted, they needed less information from me. The cashier looked at me like I was about to go start the Great Chicago Fire, but I wasn't. I was just buying matches. And depending on where you live, you might not have access to Strike Anywhere matches at all. And if you do manage to find them, congratulations, you get to jump through hoops like a trained circus poodle. So here's my question for you. Have you ever tried to buy something totally innocent and ended up feeling like a criminal like I did that day? Drop your story in the comment. I want to hear about it. Now, you're probably wondering, and rightfully so, why the hell are these matches treated like they're made of pure crystallized danger? What's the story behind this madness? Why has something that every 12-year-old scout used to carry around become harder to acquire than concert tickets to the most popular band of the time? Well, listen up, because the reasoning behind why these matches have become so hard to come by is, I guess, kind of reasonable. But it pisses me off even more because I just want to be pissed off about it and because I really like these matches and they're hard to get. Listen, the main culprit is safety regulations. I bet you didn't guess that, right? Shocking. Turns out the same feature that made these matches so convenient, their ability to ignite on basically any rough surface, also makes them kind of a hazard. They can accidentally ignite from friction during transportation, which in a truck full of boxes rubbing against each other could turn into what experts call a really bad fire. Imagine a delivery truck becoming a mobile bonfire because someone's Strike Anywhere matches got too cozy with the cardboard. That's probably not great, but let me throw out there, I bought a whole crate of these things when I found out they're hard to get, and they've never spontaneously combusted on me. Then there's the whole accidental ignition thing in general. Kids finding them, people storing them improperly, matches going off in pockets. I don't know what other situations could happen. Sounds like a cartoon, but you realize that involves real fire on real pants and real genitalia getting singed, and suddenly there's an emergency room trip, and then all of a sudden some sob stories, and then a law named after somebody. The U.S. Department of Transportation classified these as hazardous materials, which is why they can't be shipped. They fall under the same restrictions as other items that could spontaneously combust. Internationally, different countries have different rules, but many have either banned them outright or made them so difficult to obtain that you might as well be applying for a mortgage. There's also been concern about them being used for arson, because apparently when criminals want to burn something down, they reach for the most traceable, old school method possible instead of, 100 other easier ways to start a fire, including lighters and torches that you can buy anywhere without showing an ID. But sure, let's regulate the matches that have been around for over a century, because they're the problem. They cause the arson. Honestly, when I light a match in even mild wind, they never stay lit anyway. It's not exactly what I would use if I were trying to burn down a house. Anyway, the irony here is thick enough to cut with a knife. We live in a world where you could order a flamethrower online. Yes, truly a flamethrower, and I've done it. You can buy a chainsaw. I've done that too. But convenient matches? You're going to need your driver's license for that one. And here's the kicker. Regular safety matches, the ones that require striking on the box, are perfectly fine. You can buy those anywhere, anytime, no questions asked. But the strike anywhere variety, those are special. Those require regulation, restriction, and apparently a background check and fingerprinting, and also a little bit of a blood sample, stool sample, and hair sample. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand the safety concerns, I get it. I don't want delivery trucks exploding any more than the next person, but there's something frustrating about living in an era where we've made it to Mars with robots, but can't figure out a way to safely transport matches that can light on a rock that I had as a preteen. Maybe the real issue here is that we've gotten so used to overcomplicating simple things that when something as straightforward as stick goes strike, stick makes fire, we don't trust it. We need smart matches with Bluetooth connectivity and an app that reminds us not to use them near gasoline, and a monitoring sensor that alerts OSHA when it's lit. I don't know. Maybe we need to add a subscription service and firmware updates to matches too. Or maybe we've just gotten a little obsessed with bubble wrapping the entire world, and we've forgotten that sometimes a little bit of danger is actually useful. Like when you're freezing your ass off in the woods and need to start a fire before you lose your feeling in your extremities or your important bits. And here's another question for you. Do you think we've gone too far with safety regulations, or are you saying things are just fine and maybe we need to actually dial it up a notch? I don't know. You tell me. Look, I'm not advocating for reckless abandon. I'm not saying that we should hand out strike anywhere matches on Halloween. I am saying that actually some of the trick-or-treaters might actually like them. But I'm just saying there's something sad about the fact that a perfectly useful tool that helped generations of people learn outdoor skills and self-reliance have now been relegated to the too risky for modern society pile. Meanwhile, we've got teenagers eating Tide Pods and people giving themselves concussions for internet clout. But let's focus our regulatory energy on matches. I think that makes perfect sense. Hey, here's the worst part. I don't even think most people know this happened. Strike Anywhere matches have quietly faded from store shelves, and nobody noticed because we've all got lighters and electric igniters and apps and Fresnel magnifying glasses that can all start fires if you get things right. But honestly, I feel like we've lost something useful, something simple, something that represented a tiny bit of independence and capability. And we barely registered the loss. So what's the takeaway here? Is it that progress sometimes means losing things we took for granted? That safety and convenience are always at odds? That I should probably just invest in a good lighter and stop complaining like an old man yelling at clouds? Maybe. Or maybe it's that we should pay attention to the small things we lose along the way because they add up. Today it's strike anywhere matches. Tomorrow they might not let you use your cell phone on an airplane. Oh, I'm just kidding. You lost that right a long time ago. Tomorrow, it's going to be something else. It's going to be that thing you love, but it might just be a little too dangerous. No one might have gotten hurt, But who knows? Maybe states like California will make 16-year-olds sit in booster seats. There's probably some ridiculous thing that will come along just like that. Listen, the reality is I'm probably just bitter because I had to show my ID to buy matches like I was a teenager trying to purchase a gun. Either way, if you've got striking aware matches in your home right now, hold on to them. You're sitting on a gold mine, my friend, or at least rare matches. And if anyone from the match industry is listening, and I highly doubt you are, maybe it's time for Strike Anywhere Match 2.0. All the convenience, none of the accidental fires, the technology out there probably exists. Someone could probably make it happen. Until then, I'll be over here striking my increasingly rare matches on rocks and zippers, feeling like a rebel and living my best life out in the woods with my other best friends. I might just go light a few of these off right now and stick it to the man.